It is Wednesday night. It's December 27th, 2023, the last Kicking Out podcast episode for the year of 2023. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas out there. I'm Tanner Lee, co-host Paul Zartman, Austin Shepard, the Shep, in the house. Fellas, how we doing?
Good. We're just removed from Christmas, getting ready to kick off the new year. And of course, we're talking wrestling.
We are talking wrestling tonight. Got a bunch in store tonight. We got World's End coming up on Saturday night, so we got our predictions for that. We got our AEW Bowl predictions. We're each going to make 3 bowl predictions that we think will happen in 2024. And, of course, something we did last year that we had a lot of fun with. We're going to try to predict who the champions across the board in AEW will be a year from now. So, which I don't know about you guys, but I thought doing that for this year was a lot more difficult than it was last year.
Yeah. That roster's changed a lot.
I think I got one title right.
You were the only one who has one right at the moment in MJF for the world title. We each had title holders at one point through 2023, but they're not holding that right now. So
let's ask this question then, Tanner. What if MJF drops the belt at World's End? Does that mean Shep is wrong? Since technically that's still 2023.
Technically it is, and he had the title still while we're doing the show right now. So
okay,
yeah,
all right.
I think he gets the point. I think he's the winner for this year's title predictions. But
we'll get into that because I have a whole crazy theory on MJF in this coming weekend.
And Shep and I got burnt by Jade leaving for the WWE. We both had her as world champ, but
the WWE, I think, will be a common factor in 2024 with AEW.
Yep, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Well, before I get into our very important announcement that we teased last week, and if you follow the Kicking Out podcast on social media, well, if you're not, you should, at Kicking Out Pod. But if so, maybe you kind of saw the teaser. Maybe you've already figured out what our announcement's going to be or part of our announcement. But before I get into that, Paul, do you have a question for Shep there?
I do. Hey, Shep, we just passed Christmas, so I want to know, what are we drinking tonight?
Right before New Year?
Christmas was rough. So I thought today I should probably take it a little easy because the last 4 days have been ongoing and there's a lot of parties and a lot of stuff flowing. So we just went back to beer. Nice cold mug of beer. You can't beat it. Plus that asshole French company won't let us tag them and won't give me any publicity after the past gazillion episodes of me chugging their product. So in this backup thing is just water. Maybe, that's what I'm going to say it is. Cheers.
Just water. Just water. Well, I'm joining you tonight, Shep. So cheers. I thought, let's go out 2023 and have a little drink tonight. So, yeah. But you were mentioning that company that we've been trying to get them to send us merch or anything.
Something. They won't even let you tag them.
No, they won't let me tag them. But if you are out there and you want to promote yourself or your business or organization, company, whatever it may be, we are always looking for sponsors for the podcast. So if you're interested, you can DM any of the 3 of us on social media, or you can reach us at kickingoutpodcast@gmail.com. You can send us an email that way as well, and we'll get you taken care of. And we'd love to have you on board supporting our podcast. 2023 has been the biggest year for the Kicking Out podcast by far. Paul and I started this in 2021, in January of 21. And then Shep jumped on board in first quarter of 2022. So this was our first full year as a 3-man crew, but it's been our biggest year. Our following's grown across all of our social media platforms, especially on YouTube. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. And we're having more people listen to the pod every week, and we're having fun with it. So that's the main thing. But
and 2023 also led to the disappearance of the KOP Predictions title.
It did.
It went MIA. It's like Jericho had the belt or something.
It did, but
I think it went floating down the Tippecanoe River.
hopefully it can swim.
That
But
thing's pretty heavy, so I don't know.
there might be a new Kicking Out Podcast Predictions Championship that'll pop up here in the next month. Maybe you'll see it. Maybe you'll see it on socials, or maybe we'll just debut it on here. I don't know.
Could just be. It'll just be right after here, after the weekend.
After Saturday.
Okay.
You guys are funny.
Yeah.
You guys are funny. But anyways, we started this podcast in 2021. Paul and I, at the beginning, we were trying to find our footing. We didn't know what day and what time we wanted to do. We tried Thursdays for a while, and then we figured, doing that Thursday night podcast, Dynamite's kind of old news by then. So then we kind of switched to doing it live on Wednesday nights, which has worked for us for a while. But this year especially, I think all of our schedules have kind of been a little crazy at times, and it's been hard to always be a three-man crew on Wednesday nights. And there's more and more podcasts that are popping up and starting to do their podcast recordings on Wednesday nights right after Dynamite. So with that said, drum roll, please, which I don't have a drum roll, and I won't make either of you do worst drum roll ever, but thank you. Here is our
What I'm here for.
Our very important announcement. And for everybody that might be listening on the audio version of this podcast and didn't see the announcement, our announcement is we are moving to Sundays starting next Sunday, January 7th, 2024. That sounds weird to say, but 2024. And maybe the time will change sometimes, especially if there's a AEW pay-per-view on a Sunday. Maybe we'll record at a different time. But I think we're going to shoot for 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the most part. So, yes, we're moving to Sundays. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty excited about this.
It's a good thing we'll be reviewing the whole week's. We'll see 3 television shows,
Yep.
And then we get to talk about all of them and see how good they mesh together.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like going back when Paul and I started this, it was just Dynamite. There was no Rampage. There was no Collision, and AEW just added more programming. So maybe we won't go as in depth as we typically have for Dynamite episodes going forward, but we can kind of just do a week in review and pick out our favorite parts and favorite matches and chop it up and still do quizzes and all that stuff and pay-per-view predictions. So it won't be too different, but I'm excited about it.
I remember one of the reasons we changed our timing, one, because it was getting old. 2, we were covering Dark.
That's right.
Good Lord, man. Dark.
Well, not only that, Paul, you remember at the very beginning, we were covering BTE even.
Yes. BTE into Dark into Dynamite.
Yeah, I forgot about Dark. Yeah. Good times. Good times.
There at the beginning, we were lucky to make it an hour, and now it's like, oh, wait, it's only an hour long?
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. A lot to talk about. But there was our very important announcement. Like I said, if you follow us on social media at Kicking Out Pod, you probably kind of figured the code out a little bit. But there it is. So very excited about it. So there will be no podcast next Wednesday. So after tonight, the next time you will see us live is next Sunday, January 7th, 2024.
And fingers
Sunday.
That's what that old car commercial in my head.
That's my monster truck voice.
And hopefully next Sunday, I'm debuting some KOP merch on the show.
Yes.
So fingers crossed for that one.
I'm glad you brought that up, Paul, because you can still take advantage of the promo code going on right now, kickingoutshop.com. It's valid through next Monday, January 1st, 2024. Use the promo code FREE23 for free shipping on all items. So take advantage of that.
And that's nice because it's not one of those, free shipping on orders over X amount of dollars. I mean, you go in, you buy the cheapest thing on the website, you get free shipping.
Yep. So hoodies, t-shirts, mugs,
glasses,
zip-ups, pint glasses, whatever you want. We got it on there. Except for hats right now. Sold out in hats, but we'll work on that in 2024.
Yeah.
figure
There's
something.
beanie though. If you're a
There's a
beanie
beanie.
guy, you can, or gal, you can get yourself a KOP beanie.
Very true. Very true. So, all right, fellas. Well, you want to jump right into our World's End predictions? We can kind of recap most of Dynamite, I feel like, while predicting World's End, because tonight's show pretty much set up the whole card on Saturday.
All right,
my,
let's
my
do
dog's
this.
agreeing there. All right, let's start off with a match that was made tonight: Andrade versus Miro.
Go ahead, Shep.
Look, well, I was going to say, I think this match would have a little bit more momentum behind it if CJ Perry would
Not be turning into a zombie.
But her fingers falling off, and
oh my god, that was
that might have been the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. But hopefully she's doing better and getting well. But Miro kind of had that attitude. He was upset that she basically chose Andrade to valet, to manage, whatever you want to call it, and that's what came onto this match. We haven't seen Miro in a while. I feel like Andrade's got some momentum behind him.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, I pick Andrade for 4 points.
Ooh.
All right. I went Miro for 2 points because of the fact that we haven't seen Miro in a while. And this all comes from a story around his wife. So I don't see him losing this. But I only went 2 points because I could be wrong. And I wouldn't be upset if Andrade won this. So.
Yeah, I think this is a toss-up. Went with Miro for 1, but I could see CJ getting involved if she is healthy enough and maybe costing Miro. But I agree with Shep. I think Andrade's got some momentum. But the main reason I went with Miro is just the simple fact he's under contract more going forward than Andrade. I think Andrade's contract runs up in 2024. And unless things change with him, it wouldn't shock me if he jumps back to the WWE, especially since his wife Charlotte signed a big money extension with the WWE. So go with Miro for 1, but that was my hardest prediction of this all. Is toss-up.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right. Next up, I have for the FTW title, FTW rules match, Hook defending against Wheeler Yuta.
With it being an FTW rules match, I mean that's pretty much hardcore extreme rules, anything goes, however you want to look at it. I feel that this kind of favors Hook a little more, so I went with Hook for 4.
I went with Yuta for 1. I feel like this is going to be maybe a back and forth feud, and maybe we get a little bit more of these guys going back and forth. So this will kind of get the story going, and I mean, it's okay. This belt can move around. It's not really a belt.
It should move around. It sticks on guys forever, it seems like.
So, I got Yuta for 1.
I have Hook for 2, just being in New York. He's from New York, FTW rules. But the more I think about it, I kind of wish I would have picked Wheeler because maybe the BCC gets involved. And we don't really know who Hook's allies are, and Danhausen maybe. But, yeah. So
who would you rather have in your corner, Claudio or Danhausen to protect you?
I think Claudio could swing. I think he could swing Danhausen 200 times.
Yeah, I'm not being evil there.
Being very nice.
I'm being very nice. I'm going to be nice for 2024.
I think I'd go Justin Roberts over Danhausen if Claudio's coming down. So just saying.
But that should be a good match. I could see it once again going either way. That's why I only have 2 on it. So.
Yeah.
How about finally, after a year in the making, kind of, Swerve Strickland versus Keith Lee?
Man, both of these guys are impressive. Both of them have some momentum behind them, even with a loss tonight for Swerve. He's got a lot of momentum behind him. I could not decide who I wanted to win this, so I let my son decide for me, and he picked Keith Lee.
Okay. How many
points?
I
went with 3.
Okay.
Swerve taking the L tonight. He is too hot to have 2 in a row. This feud needs to be put to bed. Nothing against Keith Lee. I think he's an amazing athlete. Just doesn't have a lot going for him right now. And let's be honest, they're not necessarily winning the ratings war every week, and some of them are a little lower than they want. This guy's hot right now. No way he can take another L. Tonight was a different story in a 3-way, but yeah, I got Strickland for 6.
And I agree, Shep. I'm happy for Keith Lee finally getting a big match on a big pay-per-view. I'm kind of surprised this is the match they're giving Swerve. I kind of figured after Full Gear, couldn't think of the name. After Full Gear, I thought we might get a rubber match with he and Hangman, but they obviously pivoted, and it doesn't look like Hangman's going to be on the pay-per-view unless something happens on Rampage or Collision. And Hangman's buddies, the Bucks, for the first time in AEW history, are not going to be on one of their pay-per-views unless something once again changes. So, but I agree with Shep. I have Swerve for 6 for a lot of the same reasons that he stated. I just think
now,
it's too
don't
hot.
forget, we do have a battle royal. Hangman could show up in the battle
That's
royal.
true.
He's been known to do
That's
that,
true.
not have a big match, but just show up in the battle royals.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He would not benefit of winning that and getting a TNT title shot.
No, I didn't say he had to win it. I mean, you could have him come out and maybe Nana shows up or something and he gets thrown over that way. So he's set up for a future rematch between Hangman and Swerve.
And he's got a good excuse not to be on the pay-per-view. I mean, he still got slammed through a car windshield a couple weeks ago. So,
yeah. Maybe Paul White will show up in the battle royal.
Yeah, you never know. Captain Insano. He shows no mercy. And the guy who lost that 3-way match or took the pin, Jay White, got to think he's got to be in that battle royal, right? I mean, I don't know if the TNT title shot does him any good, but he's too big of a talent not to have on pay-per-view.
Right.
But I don't know what else you do with them. So
yeah, I agree with you, Tanner. I think he has got some momentum behind him too, and with the Bullet Club. So
yeah, which I feel like the Bullet Club. I mean, they're still very popular, but it's lost a little steam with Juice Robinson being on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Which is too bad.
And he's going to be on the shelf for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I forget what his injury was, but it's pretty serious. Yeah, I think he got to have surgery, I believe. So, next on the card, TBS Championship Julia Hart versus Abaddon.
Yep.
Is at Hart for 9.
I went Hart for 8.
I have Julia for 8 as well. I haven't really cared about this feud. I thought tonight was kind of pathetic. For a while, I thought Abaddon wasn't even going to show up with the spot with Willow and Statlander with Sky Blue and Julia Hart. I'm like, they're not even going to make, one more angle going into Saturday for your TBS title feud, but they finally did. But it was no physicality whatsoever between the two. And yeah, Julia's too hot of a talent. Just won the title. They're not taking it off her yet.
You heard that, Shep. He just said Julia's hot.
I didn't speak anything false there.
This is, I know Abaddon's been around for a while. She was an Elevation and Dark performer. It's a filler. It's a filler match. It's a filler card. Filling some time, given the TBS title some time on there. But
yeah, and she's like kind of like, I don't know why. I'm not comparing her to this talent whatsoever, but her character is kind of like the Fiend Bray Wyatt was, where it doesn't need a title, even though the WWE gave the Fiend a title, and then they didn't know how to get it off of him, and it was a creative mess. But yeah, she's got one of those characters that doesn't need a title. So next up, match that was added tonight, Chris Jericho, a returning Sammy Guevara that we'll speak on here in a bit. Sting and Darby, who also appeared for the first time on Dynamite in a while, versus Ricky Starks and Big Bill, the tag team champs, and Powerhouse Hobbs and Kyle Fletcher.
So Darby made it up and down Mount Everest without dying, like Christian predicted, right?
Oh, yeah, I saw that again today, cut up on Twitter today. I'm like, that was awesome.
I felt like this was kind of thrown together.
Yep.
Kind of like throw 5 pounds of shit in a 3-pound bag.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just to keep Sting relevant through this big little retirement run he's got. Maybe he wants to have a match with Jericho. Him and Jericho do go have a little going back. I do kind of like the way Don Callis and Sammy went at each other tonight. Obviously they got personal with Sammy welcoming a new baby girl in to the world. You know, he talked about he didn't show up for work for 5 months. You know, he got really personal. So I kind of like the back and forth there. Again, they're just trying to get, you know, something for these guys to do. Sting doesn't lose on pay-per-view, so I got Team Sting for 5 points.
Again, Sting doesn't lose. I did enjoy the back and forth. Maybe it was just me, but it kind of looked like that painting with Sammy. He had blood coming down the side of his mouth, and it kind of looked like it was on his arm too, under the baby's head. But yeah, I went Team Sting, but for 1 point.
Okay. I went team Sting for 7. I agree. Yeah, Sting doesn't lose. If he loses any match, it's going to be his retirement match.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Right. Right.
I like the Callis and Sammy stuff, but and I tweeted this from our account. Sammy is AEW's version of the Big Show, as far as when Big Show was in WWE, how he went in WCW. He was heel 1 week, face 2 weeks, heel, face. I mean, Sammy's that same way. They cannot decide which direction they want to go with him, and the poor guy can't get away from Chris Jericho. He just can't.
He's never going to get away from Jericho.
I mean, the last time we saw him, he turned on Jericho. So now, 2 months later, he's back and they're friends again. It's just kind of like, oh man, I think it'd be good for his career if he could just go on his own. Yeah, I know they had a pivot with the Golden Jets thing because Kenny getting sick, but I just want to see Sammy do his own thing. But this will still be an interesting. I mean, anytime we get Sting on TV, it's fun. And now, especially this late in his career, before he retires on March 3rd, we got to really appreciate it for what it is. So,
and then before Sting and Darby came down, Ricky Starks and Midget Bill attacked him.
Yes,
and I immediately thought we're going to get that tag match this Saturday. Just because Kenny might be out for a while, and they still have that tag team title opportunity, and it's you don't have a tag title match on the card, so I thought that's kind of where they were pivoting, and then Sting and Darby came out of nowhere, and then we get the 8-man tag, which is I think something that Tony Khan loves to take away from New Japan, because I think they're the king of the 8-man tags, but.
I could see this being on the card, the match before the main event.
Yeah, because this match isn't going to steal the show.
No, but it could still be an entertaining one. Sting will jump off something probably, and it could over-deliver. I guess Sting tag matches have done that quite a few times.
Well, I tell you, I thoroughly enjoy Fletcher's work.
Yeah.
I like his new little cocky character now, as they made him the ROH TV champ. Since his tag partner's out with, I think, torn ACL, right?
Yeah, Mark Davis, yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to be out for a while. So you got to give this guy a new little look. So he's got the 3-piece black suit. I think he is he could be a single star. So him and Sammy could put on, I think, a killer match.
Yeah, they could. And Sammy forgot him tonight. And Sammy's promo, he talked about Hobbs and Takeshita, but he forgot Fletcher, because Fletcher was even on camera like, what about me? Pointing at himself. Yeah. I don't know if that was on purpose or just he accidentally forgot. So, yeah. Next up on the card, I got the TNT Championship's no disqualification match, Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland. We saw Christian win in their first match against each other. This thing gets more and more heated every week, and tonight they were supposed to have a sit-down interview with Lexi Nair, but that did not happen as Adam went berserk on Christian, to say the least.
Yeah. I'm going with my prediction. The last time these two faced, it'll probably come back to bite me in the ass again. But I'm going Adam Copeland for 6.
Okay.
It just makes sense to me.
TNT title's becoming rated R.
I don't see how this feud ends without a bloodbath of a match. I think these two will do that. I think there'll be outside interference everywhere.
Oh, indeed.
Multiple individuals involved. I've scratched this out twice. I picked this guy, scratched him out, picked the other guy, and then right before we went live, I scratched it out and changed it again. I got Adam Copeland for 2.
Well, we agree across the board. I have Adam Copeland for 4. And I can hear people right now, well, Adam Copeland's too big for the TNT title. But the fact is, he's been back in pro wrestling for his last run since 2020. He hasn't held any title of any kind. So I think this is a good one for him to hold.
And not to interrupt you.
Oh, you're fine.
But depending on what happens to our world champion, you need a prominent belt on television that has a story behind it. Not the All Atlantic Championship, what the hell they call it now?
International.
The International, sorry. The International Championship is just, hey, let's kick off the show, put 2 guys in and go have a wrestling match. So it's kind of taken a little bit of a backseat. So if you don't have a champion on TV every week, which that's a whole nother discussion we'll get into later, you're going to have it. So having a guy, a WWE Hall of Famer holding this belt and on television every week, it could work.
Yeah. It would bring some prestige back to it, I guess, or give it some more prestige. I mean, Cody was a great TNT champion. The late, great Brody Lee was a great TNT champion. I wish he was still with us, of course. It's crazy. It's been 3 years already, and I would have liked to seen him get another reign with that thing instead of it's just the short reign he had with Cody during the Daily's Place pandemic era that we were in. But, Darby's held it, Miro's held it, Sammy, Scorpio Sky. But yeah, I think and Christian's done a great job with the title. And I think a lot of people have really enjoyed his title reign, but I think putting on Adam Copeland would be pretty cool going into 2024.
And again, we talk about Adam Copeland and going back to the, he's too big for that. Maybe he is, but holding a title like the TNT Championship takes some pressure off of him from having to have these big, long, drawn-out matches.
True.
Like we've seen in the AEW World Champion picture. A lot of those matches are 30, 45, 60 minutes even, sometimes even longer than that. And this allows Copeland to come out, hit a quick 10-minute match, 15-minute match, and go home. So this allows him to have that gold run, one more championship run in his career, if that's what he chooses to do, without the pressure of having to put on these spectacular 30 to 60-minute matches.
Yeah, no, very good point and well said. So I'm looking forward to that match. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I am too.
The Continental Classic Finals for the Triple Crown Championship. We found out that John Moxley won the gold bracket tonight and Eddie Kingston won the blue bracket. So the old allies / rivals will be duking it out one-on-one. So technically Eddie is defending his championships for a new championship.
And I know this sounds crazy. I went with Kingston for 5. We talked when this first started that when Kingston said he was in it and he said, I'm putting my belts up every time, we all said Kingston's going the whole way. And then we kind of got jerked around a little bit with him losing the first 2 matches. And now they've built up this huge comeback story where Mox has only lost once. Kingston's lost twice. He had to fight back because he was almost eliminated. And as much as the crowd is behind Kingston in New Japan and over here, I think putting this on Kingston will do great things for him, and we'll see some emotion that we haven't seen yet.
If anybody won the first match besides Mox, Eddie wouldn't have won the match tonight because Eddie doesn't match up good with Swerve or with Jay. That would have been a Danielson. So as soon as Mox won, I said, all right, Kingston's going to do it. Had a hell of a match. Was a pay-per-view match that we got to see free on television. I'm going with Eddie for 3. And the reason is I think he pulls this off because Mox is going for a bigger title in Wrestle Kingdom. That'll get more publicity, and it won't be on the New Japan Strong shows. It's not going to be on ROH. So it fits Eddie better, and it's in Eddie's hometown. So sounds like I should put more than 3 points on it, but damn it, that's what I did.
Are you surprised Mox is on the card with Wrestle Kingdom 18 next week? Because, I was thinking tonight, I'm like, man, Danielson doesn't have a place on the card. Then, well, he's got Okada next week, and he's still healing up from his injury, so it's probably a good thing to give him a few days extra rest.
Well, he's more banged up than Mox. And it's been well documented how banged up he is. But he came out and said, look, I'm in the pinnacle of my career. I just deal with it. Mm-hmm. I mean, and you know how I don't want to call him straight edge because that overfits, but you know how clean he is. The guy has never probably been in the same room as a pain pill. So
right.
He finds other ways to do it. The guy had a hemp championship once.
That was great when he was the environmental champion. That was classic.
But
Captain Planet.
I think it's typical Mox. He's going to probably do this show, and he's going to hop on a plane and fly over there, get acquainted, and do Wrestle Kingdom with maybe one of the top 5 wrestlers in the world right now, Will Ospreay.
The Billy Goat coming to AEW in 2024.
So
and David Finlay. He's not coming to AEW, but that's also who's against Mox.
Yes. Did you see David Finlay's quote today about?
I did.
He's like, look, the only time we ever talk about it is when I go over to dinner once a week to my parents' house, and his dad always says, "Hey, you want to come work with me?" And he's like, I got other shit to do.
Yeah, maybe someday.
Maybe someday when but. I'm looking forward to it. Wrestle Kingdom card is a banger right now.
It's loaded.
Oh, yeah.
It's loaded.
And it should be. It should be.
And Ace, the new president of New Japan. Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Good for that company, I think. I think he's going to do a good job with that. So,
yeah.
I also have Eddie Kingston winning, and I have him. I don't remember how many points I have on this. I have 5. 5 for Eddie. So,
all right.
And what a win for him tonight over Danielson. I enjoyed both of the Continental Classic matches tonight. I thought the triple threat to kick it off was awesome. And then Danielson and Kingston were so hard hitting. You knew it was going to be. And man, the crowd was behind Eddie. And love how Moxley acknowledged that in the promo. And that's Eddie's biggest win, at least in AEW, if not his whole career tonight against Danielson. And he can even up it against Moxley just with everything on the line. And Eddie's been getting pushed by AEW, but a win like this puts him over the top going into 2024.
Well, I just said a top 5 wrestler in the world. I would put Daniel up there as well, and he pinned him clean tonight. So, and it doesn't make Daniel look bad at all. You saw his chest; it was hamburger meat. The guy had a broken orbital bone. His arm is like 60%, he said.
Yep.
And he's turning around and he's going to Wrestle Kingdom to face Okada. So
face the Rainmaker, who he says he legit wants to break his arm.
So I can imagine how hard hitting or how stiff that match will be.
We need to sit back and appreciate Bryan Danielson. We know this is his last year as a full-time competitor. I mean, then he still might pop up now and then in AEW, but not full-time. And I think it's going to be a hell of a run for him in 2024. I mean, it's already been in 2023 since he made that announcement, but I think it's going to be a hell of a run.
If his body can hold up.
Yeah. Good point.
Yep.
Good point. So, all right. 2 more matches on the card. The AEW Women's World Title, Toni Storm versus Shep's favorite, Riho.
Shep, I'll let you go first.
Storm for 7.
I went Storm for 9.
I went timeless Toni Storm for 9. No way they're taking the title off of her for a few more months, I'd say. And, I know I'm going to get flack on X probably, but I'm not a Riho fan. I don't see it. When Mariah May tonight was running away from her, I'm like, come on. Come on. What are we doing?
Yeah, so I think I made a comment about it last week, and then on Twitter, I just heard everybody sticking up for her, saying people are shaming her because of her size. And I've never really – the only time I ever shamed because of her size is when she was working with Nyla Rose. And she beat Nyla Rose clean for the title, and it was just like, yeah. So, yeah. She's athletic.
Yes, she is.
She can do some stuff, but it's just like
I don't like them putting her in the title picture as often as they have, I guess. I mean, there's other place on the card for her, I think.
I think the women's division in AEW has some really superb talent.
Right.
That is just not clicking.
Right.
I think it's been a disappointing run for Saraya. Ruby Soho has fizzled out. I mean, your hottest thing right now, I think, is Heart and Sky Blue.
Yes, because you're missing Britt Baker. You're missing another horse and Jamie Hayter.
And Thunder Rosa just came back. Just came back.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to push Sky Blue. I think Sky Blue tonight was like her 68th match of the year.
Yeah.
And
somebody was comparing that to Anna Jay, only had like 20-some matches this year. So
I think Sky Blue's only like 23 or 24 years old.
Pretty young. She's pretty still young. So. I wouldn't call her green, I guess, now, but she's still not a veteran by any means. So, yeah. That'd be the stunner of the night for me if Toni Storm gets the title taken off of her. So. And lastly, for the World Championship, MJF versus Samoa Joe. And to put some intrigue on this tonight, we saw them defending their ROH, or defending Adam Cole and MJF's ROH tag team titles against 2 of the masked Devil's henchmen. And Samoa Joe is beat up backstage, holding his knee. But MJF's like, screw it, I'm taking these 2 guys on by myself. He's doing pretty good against both of them until one of the goons, a third of the 4, comes out from underneath the ring, hits him with a pipe. One of them hits the heat seeker on MJF and then cheats with the feet on the ropes for the 1, 2, 3. So the Devil's henchmen, whoever they might be, these 2 are the new ROH tag team champs. We see the rest of the henchmen get around, beat down MJF. Joe comes out. The henchmen all run away from Joe, who's hobbling to the ring with a chair. And then the Devil appears, flashes away, and a message comes up and says, "Pleasure doing business with you." And Joe hits the "Pleasure doing business with you," as Paul says underneath his headline under there on the StreamYard here. And Joe hits MJF with a chair. So he was in cahoots with the Devil the whole time.
Here's the thing. It was an okay segment. I know MJF can't have long matches right now. He's nursing that shoulder. We haven't seen him work in a couple weeks because of the Devil in the backstage segments. I get that. They've done that well. But if we do not see who the Devil is Saturday, this story is losing momentum.
Yep.
At a huge pace.
Yep.
I almost thought we were going to see it tonight. I did love Justin Roberts. I love the way he announced. He was just like, "And your new champions," and then he just went silent because obviously nobody has any idea who they are. But we gotta have the Devil
reveal. We gotta have it.
Gotta have it. We gotta have it Saturday. We gotta have it Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, I think this might have been one of those quick flips again, because I still think Adam Cole was originally supposed to be the devil. But of course his injury prevented that from happening. So I think that's probably the only real change we saw in this storyline. But yeah, it's time for the payoff.
I'm not so sure, Paul, and I could be completely wrong on this, but my theory is the devil storyline wasn't even supposed to be anything until Cole's injury, and they came up with it on the fly. That's my theory.
That's very TK-ish.
Yeah. Oh crap! I just lost my story. I think if Adam Cole's healthy, I think he's the one to take the title off of MJF. If it was at Full Gear or at World's End, I think he was the guy that was going to take it off of him. But then TK pivoted is like, we got to have something in place for this, and Adam Cole can still be involved in some ways. So that's just my philosophy. I could be way wrong on that.
So before we make our picks, Paul has the number 7 left. Tanner has the number 3 left, and I have the number 8 left.
Oh my God.
So, depending on who we pick, there is with Tanner, there is a significant point aspect here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Mr. Champion, I'll let you go first.
Well, I am picking the champion MJF, and I know he's beat up. I mean, for real, with the labrum and everything. And this is in his hometown of Long Island. I mean, it would be a crazy finish to take it off of him, and with the devil interference or whatever it is, rips everything away from him. We see him lose the ROH tag titles. Then he could lose the world title. And then, because, spoiler alert, I think Adam Cole is the devil, then he could lose his best friend. He could lose everything all at once. So maybe I'm looking at potential matchups in 2024 with him as the champ, and I'm thinking they still got to go with him as the champ. So MJF for 3, but this could bite me in the ass.
Go ahead, Paul.
Well, if it's going to bite you in the ass, it's really going to bite me in the ass. I have gone back and forth all week on this. I mean, I struggled all day today, crossed it out. I kind of did what Shep did, crossed it out, recircled, crossed it out, rewrote it down. Settled with MJF for 7.
I'm impressed though. You said you went back and forth, struggled, but you put a big number on it.
I did. Because maybe it's the whole old school wrestling in me. Whoever goes over loses at the pay-per-view. Maybe that's why I stuck with the big number, but I don't know.
No.
Every championship reign I've had in KOP has come down to MJF in some way, shape, or form.
It really has.
He screws me if I don't select him. He screws me if I do select him. So,
like me and the Elite.
More time.
So,
yeah.
And Ship with the women's division, and as a whole.
Yeah, I think I got a layup on the women's division this week.
I think yeah.
I have MJF for 8.
Okay.
Now, the only reason I have gone back on this is because it came out in the last 7 days that he really hasn't signed a contract for 2024.
Are you buying that though?
And he came out and made a comment too. Again, it's MJF. If for some reason he loses this match, all of a sudden I believe he has not signed a contract because TK's got to protect that belt. Right. Now, I don't believe Samoa Joe should carry that championship very long. There's a lot more guys in that company. Samoa Joe, if this is all true, Samoa Joe's in the right place at the right time. Okay? So if for some I don't want to follow the conspiracy theory. Of course, again, we're talking about freaking professional wrestling, I know. I think he has signed a contract. That's why he came back a while ago. Mm-hmm. He's just playing it. But for some reason, if Samoa Joe somehow goes over here, the contract rumors are going to go through the freaking roof.
Yes, they are.
Because they're saying TK's protecting the belt. You lose as you leave the territory type deal, MJF. I don't know. I think MJF has a long title reign. I think
he already has.
And I think he signs I think he's already signed a contract.
Yeah,
I
do
really
too.
do.
I think just with the way they've promoted him as champ and everything and switching to babyface, I just feel like he has too. And I think, like you said, I think it'll be really telling to see if he walks out of this or not, as far as if he signed that contract, because Tony kind of got burnt by that once with Cody Rhodes. When Cody had the TNT title, was working on the handshake deal, and then he had to have Sammy win in the ladder match. I don't think he wants to go down that road again. So,
no.
Yeah. But it should be a fun pay-per-view Saturday night from the Nassau Coliseum, Long Island, New York. I think ticket sales have been pretty good for this. Ticket sales have been really good for Revolution in March at the
wonder why.
For Sting's last match. It's but you got to think that's probably got a main event that show, but maybe not. But
no, I don't think he'd want to main event the show.
He wants the title to main event it.
Yeah, I think Sting's old school. In the building they're doing it. I mean, there's so much history in that building with Jim Crockett Promotions, NWA, WCW. That was their house, and I think they had to open up more seats. They're over 10,000, right?
Oh yeah, it's close to 15 now. Yeah, it's selling well.
I knew they were opening up more seats, and
it was well. I know when we were doing the pod, just you and I, Shep, a couple weeks ago, we looked it up. It holds like 35,000 or something just ridiculous. The Coliseum, it's really big.
And we looked it up because of we were shocked what year it was built, and obviously, I'm sure they've added on to it to make it that big because they back in. Whenever they built it, the 50s or 60s, they weren't going to have no need for a 35,000 seat venue.
Yeah, it was. Let's see.
Uncle Google.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Uncle Google's better than your other uncle, so.
Uncle Google's better than the dirty uncle that won't share the beer with you at Christmas or something like
that. Maybe. I think I got the wrong ring. I looked up Charlotte Coliseum, but I don't think that's the right.
No, it's the Greensboro Coliseum.
There you go. That's what it's
Greensboro
called.
Coliseum.
I was gonna say the Charlotte's where the Hornets play. Greensboro. Yeah, it was built in 1969, and it holds
great fucking year.
35. There it is.
Oh shit!
35,000 plus.
Did it say was it ever remodeled in 1969? They really thought they needed it.
It looks like it's had renovations in 89, 95, 97, 99, and 2016.
Okay.
It was expanded in, in 93, and then something happened in 2022.
Well, yeah, they announced Sting's last match.
$45.6 million, so they had a big project there.
Right.
Yeah, hop in place. So, but looking forward to World's End. It should cap off what has been a pretty good pay-per-view year for AEW. AEW in 2023 has been an interesting year. It's had a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of drama. CM Punk here, CM Punk there, CM Punk gone.
Not to bring up, not to keep talking about Punk because he's obviously in the wrestling news every day.
Mm-hmm.
The picture of Don Callis with Takeshita.
Mm-hmm.
Were those CM Punk's chest tattoos and arm tattoos in that picture?
I thought one of them was The Rock's.
I don't think The Rock has the color.
Yeah.
The Rocks are all the same color, like the Samoan patterns and everything. I could have swore it reminded me of CM Punk's tattoos.
Yeah.
I thought it might be a little troll by Callis. It was either Fletcher's or Takeshita's. Because it was
Takeshita's with the tattoos, because Fletcher's was boxing the Kangaroos.
That's right.
Yeah, so, and they made the comment that the tattoos seem to disappear.
I'll have to go. Interesting. I'll have to go check that out. But It's been an up or down year for AEW, but I think we can all agree they always produce pay-per-view time.
Yes.
They put on a different type of pay-per-view than Connecticut, and it's enjoyable. It really is. It really is.
You get your money's worth. So,
It's
do you guys have any favorite matches for 2023 for AEW?
Oh man, that's rough to pick.
I know there's been a lot.
Well, I mean, Ospreay and Kenny.
Yeah, Forbidden Door, and then also at Wrestle Kingdom too.
That was great.
I like Danielson, MJF, the Iron Man at Revolution, because everybody's like, MJF's got to win. We all knew it, but man, that was exciting. Hangman Swerve at Full Gear. I mean, it was very, very bloody and cringeworthy at times, but it was pretty good match.
I think it was in 20. It was the start of 23, and now it's into 22. The dog collar match with the Briscoes and FTR.
Yeah. And we lost Jay Briscoe to start 2023.
Yep.
But the good that came out of that was, and unfortunately it had to come to that to get him on, was Mark Briscoe becoming part of AEW and on TV all the time. Oh, there's been a lot of good matches. Athena and Billy Starks on the ROH pay-per-view recently put on a great match for the women's division.
Yeah, they did. Man, I don't know, but I do want to say, hey, congratulations to the tag team of the year.
FTR.
Mm-hmm.
Sports Illustrated tag team of the year, deservingly so, but they don't have a spot on the pay-per-view Saturday unless they're two of the henchmen.
Oh,
nah, they're not in for it. They're not due for a heel turn yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
They're still working on something with House of Black.
That's true. I forgot about that. Maybe that gets added Saturday. Maybe that's added Friday or Saturday.
Oh,
no, there is no Collision this week. Duh. Maybe that gets added
Friday.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
at all.
That'll be a good feud. So, but it's been a fun year for AEW, but I really think 2024 they got to get the momentum going again, and they're starting to trend the right direction. Ticket sales have been going up. I think they're starting to lower their ticket prices, which you have to. I mean, I know the WWE's hot as hot can be right now, and they're selling out everywhere, and they're making unbelievable profits, but their ticket prices are pretty expensive. So if I'm AEW, I lower my ticket prices because, I mean, not every family can go to a WWE event. If AEW can price themselves a little lower, maybe that family goes to Dynamite or Collision instead.
I think those are the Rocks.
The Rocks, okay. I just thought there was some color involved there, but he's trolling on somebody.
Yeah,
he's trolling.
That's what he does.
Yeah. So you talk about ticket prices. There's a house show. A live event. They don't call them house shows anymore. In Fort Wayne from Connecticut, and if you wanted to sit in the first three rows, I think the front row wasn't even on the aisle. Front row was like $5.95 a ticket.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous
for a house show. Like,
and I went, and Shep, you went last year when they were in Fort Wayne. It was an enjoyable event.
That was a gift ticket, and I still haven't got what she paid. But she told me it wasn't $5.95 because I said, "Hey, they're coming back." And I said,
"I think I know in the ballpark." I'll text you. I think I know in the ballpark what she paid.
I was guessing $200-$300.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think it's about $300.
And that's still a little much for a freaking house show.
I know.
You know, and here's one thing I noticed at a house show. We watched, I don't know what, 8-9 matches, 10 matches maybe that night. Not one hard chop. Okay, not one dive to the outside. And I get it. I get what they're doing. I mean,
they're working smart.
I get it. Don't get me wrong, but it's also like, man, you get to finally sit up close and you don't feel the chop. I don't know. It was okay.
I've not bought
my experience.
I've not bought my ticket for April yet because as of right now, Cody Rhodes isn't announced, and maybe they're not doing that until after Mania. I don't know, but if he's not on it, I'm probably not going. If he is, I'll probably go.
The initial poster, the big headliner was Charlotte. Well, she's not going now. No. She hurt her knee.
I heard a radio advertisement up here one of the stations the other day, which that's something AEW needs to do a better job of. I've heard locally they don't do a good job promoting. Hey, WWE is promoting this
I've
thing in
tried.
December already for April.
I've tried.
I know you have, Paul. I don't understand. AEW needs to get on that better, but they were promoting it with Kevin Owens. Well, his theme music was on the background of the ad. So Kevin Owens and Lashley were kind of the big two. So.
Which Kevin Owens was there last year.
Yeah,
him and Sammy were. It was actually a pretty
it was loaded with talent. Yeah,
I mean you had them, and you had LA Knight, you had Cody, you had Solo, you had the Usos,
Rey Mysterio.
You had Rey Mysterio. Was he with Dom?
No, he.
I can't remember if Dom and Rhea were there.
Rhea was supposed to be, and then she wasn't. Because we saw Natalya instead. She was supposed to be, but they.
No, that's right. We saw Natalya.
Yeah. So it was still enjoyable, still wrestling. So
anyway, $600 for a live event.
Yeah. So
little much.
AEW can price their tickets down a little bit. I think they'll continue to see good success for ticket sales. So and start going to other markets. Don't saturate your markets and hit the same markets all the time.
Yeah,
but don't run the same buildings all the time. So, but speaking of AEW in 2024, do you guys want to do who we think will be the champions a year from now first, or do you want to do our 3 bold predictions first?
I'm digging these bold predictions that I've got.
Right.
So,
well, you kick us off with your first bold prediction, then, Paul.
All right. This one is a very bold prediction. I don't know in what way, shape, or form, but I think Dark Order's gonna win some gold.
Wow. I can see ROH gold.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, we going with the boldest of bold right off the bat.
I have 3. I would say 2 is more bolder than the other one. So I'll probably lead off with my lightest one.
I'm going full throttle.
Okay.
MJF does not work for AEW in 2024.
Wow.
Whoa.
I think he's going to the WWE. I don't know.
I mean, I seriously think I lose Saturday because of my pick.
Oh, dude, if he leaves, I don't. They can't let him walk.
Because here's the deal. I know TK has endless funds, which we think we do. Maybe his dad says, "Look, I don't want to. I have billions of dollars, but I'm not wasting it on your stuff." Maybe he does. Maybe he does. I don't know. But the heat, the momentum behind Endeavor and WWE right now, and TKO and whatever all the damn subsidiary companies are, with Trips having the pin. It's a pen. It's not a pencil. It's a pen over there. And the other con that MGF has mentioned numerous times, and I know it's for heat. I mean, they're going to be able to offer him money that is mind-blowing. And MGF knows, look how hot they are right now. Now, again, we're AEW fans. And I came back to professional wrestling because it was a new product, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And I still watch a little bit of the other one, but not religiously. But I know we have take Wembley out of it. The majority of the stadiums, the majority of the arenas that they're doing, even for pay-per-views, are 7,000 to 12,000.
Right.
The Sting thing's an anomaly.
Right.
Where that's a normal Raw on a Monday night, a normal SmackDown, and then look at your Manias, your Big Four. You're a Big Four in football stadiums holding 60, 70,000 people.
You're not wrong.
MJF, that's his dream. 5 years ago, MJF was wrestling in front of 150 people. He's worked at it, so that's the biggest one. Is MJF does not work for AEW in 2024.
I hope you're wrong, because that would put a really big dent in AEW. I mean, very big. And my counter to that would be, I agree with a lot of things you're saying. MJF still wouldn't be a big fish in WWE because they are so stacked right now. Whereas in AEW, he is going to be the big fish.
He's going to be mid-card if he's lucky.
I think you guys are wrong. There's one thing that he has that a lot of guys don't. He can walk into that room and he can walk into that arena and he can cut a promo on Roman, on Cody, on Punk, on Seth Rollins.
You're right.
And he can get everybody behind him. Like, nothing against those guys. Those guys are obviously all great. They're there for a reason. But there's just something about this guy, the way he talks. He can either piss them off or piss the fans off. And if he pisses them off, they're going to get the reaction from the fans, so he wins both ways. That's how good he is.
Now, yes, he can cut a hell of a promo. One of the best right now. Can he do a fully scripted promo?
Well, you would think some guy named Paul Levesque is smart enough to say, okay, bud, here's your points. You can't say this. You can't have the freedom you had, but you can say this. Put it together.
I think that's kind of what they're doing with Punk right now.
I think that's the best of both worlds. And maybe, hey, they're for some reason in the last 60 days, they're opening up their minds over there. We just saw them, NXT just signed with are partnering with Japan. Okay. They're having their own Forbidden Door over there now. And they announced it with William Regal's son, who, so they're getting open-minded over there.
Yeah. Took them long enough.
I mean, well, Tanner's uncle's back in Connecticut counting his money. So, I don't know, man. I can see it happen. I can see it happening. I can see it hitting that damn music with that, not blue, I was going to say Burberry scarf hitting the Jumbotron across 80,000 people and whatever the hell next stadium they're going to for WrestleMania.
Lincoln Financial in Philly.
It's in Philly, but it might not be. I don't. He just said 2024. It's a bidding war. So
I hope you're wrong, but that is bold and that's a big prediction. So.
I mean, him showing up at the Rumble, I know that would put him in AEW most of 2024, but that would be a good place to do it.
Well, I'm sure it's a standard contract. When it expires, I'm sure there's a non-compete somewhere.
Well, yeah.
So it's not like he loses on Saturday and
shows up Monday.
Not pulling Rick Rude.
Or even shows up at the Rumble in January because it's not 90 days yet.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I forgot the Rumble was – sorry.
Well, I will start off with a heavy hitter then, since – Shep just did, and I kind of want to counter, because especially if that happens, then it gets more crowded in WWE, and there's some big names, some big contracts coming up in the WWE, and maybe one of their heavy hitters looking like, hey, I'm not being used as I want to be over here, even though he's in a pretty good spot right now. I can go over to AEW and really be in the title picture. I think Drew McIntyre, or if he gets out of WWE, Drew Galloway becomes all elite in 2024.
With you there.
Yeah, but he is in the title picture right now against Seth Rollins, so they're using him pretty well. But
fourth time.
I know, but I think AEW could do something with him. Or maybe if he doesn't go to AEW, maybe he's the biggest name on the indies for a while. But I think a change of scenery could do him good. He's really built himself up since he left TNA and went back to the WWE. He's really built himself up. So
yeah,
that's one of my bold predictions. Paul, what's another one you got?
Well, as we're talking about people leaving, I don't think this one shocks anybody. So it was like my least one. The Hardys leave AEW to return to WWE.
Okay.
There's been a lot of rumors floating around that they're not happy backstage with how they're booking. Jeff has made statements multiple times.
They need to turn heel. Do something they haven't done in a while.
Yeah.
They need to bring back Brother Nero.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. The true deletion character, and then bring back Brother Nero would work in AEW. I don't think they could do the schedule in WWE. Remember the last time Jeff was there, remember he walked out in the middle of a match in a house show through the crowd.
Yeah.
And everybody thought he was on whatever. But
Well, and it's just been too bad because they were scheduled to win those titles. Then Jeff got that DUI, and it just kind of derailed their run, and they haven't been able to find their footing since.
Yeah, and let's be honest, Matt is he's on the end. You can just tell the way the guy walks.
Yeah,
his body, it does not have a lot left.
Maybe it's time. They tried a deletion thing because he was a hot act when he debuted in AEW, but unfortunately, him and Brody Lee in that first pandemic show up because COVID hit like crazy. The pandemic started, and so the delete thing or broken Matt couldn't hit with a crowd because there was no crowd. So maybe now's the time. Broken Matt, Brother Nero, try it one more time, see if it hits.
The best part of Matt was when he was in one of those Stadium Stampede, and we had like 3 different versions of him coming out of the ice cooler and stuff like that. That might have been the highlight of him in AEW so far.
I think you're right.
He tried to kill. Remember, he tried to kill Sammy.
Yeah, and then Sammy tried to kill him.
Oh yeah.
It's
awful. Oh, that was the worst AEW pay-per-view. That 2020 All Out. That was uncomfortable. That match made me so uncomfortable because I'm like, they need to get him out. He's got to kill himself. But I like it, Paul. That's an interesting one. That is not the talent I thought you were going to have leaving. When you said not surprised, I thought it was going to be somebody else. So, Shep, number 2 for you.
Well, if we're talking about Connecticut people leaving and showing up in AEW, I don't know if this is a big bold prediction, but I think we see Mustafa Ali in 2024. He's taken a lot of indie bookings already since his non-compete's up. Took a GCW booking. I think he's took a
Warrior Wrestling,
which all of a sudden Warrior Wrestling fell off the map, and now they're teaming up with some
took
brewery.
like a hiatus. Now they popped up with a different logo and all kinds of things.
Well, their attendance in South Bend last November was poorly attended compared to the first one I attended. Right. So maybe they had to take a little break. But you got that. I think he's got a Revolver. Yep. I think they booked him in Revolvers as well. So
he can go, man. He's talented.
I saw a picture of him the other day compared to when he started in WWE. He's put on some muscle.
He's jacked.
So
I on the AJ Styles diet.
I liked his promo video reintroducing himself. I thought that was really good. There was a lot of AEW talent addressed in that video. He basically put on a bunch of pictures of guys that he wants to work. And one of them was Ospreay. So yeah, I think I think we see him in 2024. I don't think I'm upset with that either.
Well, speaking of the Billy Goat, Will Ospreay, he's part of my number 2 bold prediction. He main events All In at Wembley Stadium.
Well, that's not really a bold prediction. I think we've been talking about that for months. But yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
That still could piss off some guys in the company, though. He's not coming over till March, and then handful of months in, and he's main eventing their biggest show, even though it is in his backyard.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be shocked if that was part of the agreement, to be honest. So.
All right, Paul, number 3.
All right. We're bringing back FTR for this one, and I don't do a whole lot with FTR, so this is a bold one for me. FTR, Mark Briscoe make a run at Trios Gold.
Yeah, I didn't think you were going there with that, but
I know Mark's kind of said he doesn't really plan on doing anything like that, and that's kind of why I feel like this is bold, because those 3 have such chemistry. They've done a trios tag once here recently, and they love doing it. They enjoyed it. So I think we could maybe not win gold. And I'm not saying this is going to happen in, January or February, but at some point, maybe over the summer, tail end of 2024, I think those 3 run for some gold.
I know coming out of the Continental Classic, he cut a promo at the end there after he won his last match against Lethal. and said, look, hey, I'm a rookie singles wrestler, but I'm on a run. Like, I'm going to start a run here. So I feel like we're going to get that. And then he made a comment like, I'll never tag again. Now, if it is a storyline with other single wrestlers, I get it. But for him to, and I would even throw the trios in there with that, like for him to hold some type of belt with another guy, another two guys, I just don't know if he would be up for that. Again, it's professional wrestling. He can be talked into it. Money talks, bullshit walks, right? Obviously, TK has given him a good opportunity, so he might, do whatever. Obviously, TK says so. It's a good prediction, though. It's a good prediction.
And I'm not saying they win anything. I just think, it's kind of one of those, oh, hey, we're going to have this trios championship match. And I'm not saying they're going to win it, but, at least be in a trios championship match.
Well, you ready for my next one?
Let's do it.
It's not, it could be AEW, but I'm predicting ROH. By the end of 2024, the one, the only, the Outrunners hold gold in ROH.
Love it.
Yes.
Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum.
Yes.
You got to get an Outrunner shirt, dude.
I'm thinking about it.
You got to.
So
Nobody younger.
That's my. I don't know which one's more crazier, that one or my MJF one, but
I love it. Well, my last one. It's one I think we all hope that happens, and I think it needs to happen.
Oh no! Hold on. I do not want Goldberg in AEW, Tanner.
Oh no! That was 2023. No, Bill Goldberg. I'm not doing that this year. I don't want to see it either. No, I tried last year. I was pretty certain it would happen. It didn't happen. He's trying, but I don't think it's going to happen. Even though Tony likes Bill. So, anyways, this last one I think is one we all need. We hope and we need it as pro wrestling fans to happen for the wrestling industry to be as good as it can be, and that's Warner Brothers Discovery re-signs a deal with AEW, and the pay-per-views go on Max.
Let's do it.
I know the rumor is, Raw's out there but man, if Raw goes to Warner Brothers, I just don't see a world where Warner Brothers keeps two wrestling properties on their TV network, especially if they get the NBA back. If they don't get the NBA back, then maybe they do. So I think the best case scenario, Raw would end up on FX, and then AEW's back home on Warner Discovery because, I can hear right now, the WWE people, blah, 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 blah. Well, I think AEW is the best thing that's happened to the WWE because it's finally made the WWE up their game. I mean, they are hot right now. Their product's better right now than it has been a long time. Take AEW away or take a major TV deal away from them, or if they get shifted like TNA is to like an Axis or a channel that's hard to find.
Weren't they wasn't Impact on the Outdoor channel for a while?
I think they were on the Pop TV Guide channel.
Yes.
They were on Pop. They were also on oh my God, there was another channel that was like TV America or something. Yeah, they were on some weird networks there for after Spike TV. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, if AEW goes to a network that's hard to find or doesn't get a lot of viewers, and if they end up going in the tank, which I think Tony Khan will do anything in his power to not let that happen with his resources, if they go down the tank, we're back where we were again with WWE being really the main option, at least in America, pro wrestling to watch, and their product can become stale again. Even though I think Triple H is doing a way better job than my old Uncle Vince. But yeah, I guess maybe it's more of a hopeful prediction for me, but I think AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery have a pretty good relationship, so hopefully they can come to an agreement. And then get those pay-per-views on Max, so then if they have 10 a year, we're not breaking the bank to watch them.
I don't think they're – of course, I'm speaking way out of context here. We're
ratings, just fans.
Yeah, if you compare it to other shows they have on there, and I'm not talking live sports events, their ratings are comparable,
right?
So they have they're just not comparable with WWE right now.
No, they're comparable to NXT, which is the butt of a lot of jokes, but whatever.
Yeah. So.
And here's the thing that I still don't quite understand. AEW has everything, all their pay-per-views on Bleacher Report, which you can now access Bleacher Report Sports from within Max. So why has the pay-per-views not just been brought over already?
I really think it's all part of the TV contract rights as a whole. I think Tony wants it all together. I'll do it at once.
And I'm not for a streaming platform. I'm not a big Bleacher Report fan.
Oh, it sucks. It sucks. Pauses all the time.
I've already bought my pay-per-view for Saturday.
Smart.
And
I will be tuning in at like 6:00 just so.
It happened to me 2 or 3 pay-per-views ago. I can't remember. Might have been. It wasn't London, so it was All Out, right? So London was all in.
Unless it was the one out in. My God, the one that Adam Copeland showed up for, and I always forget the name. Wrestle Dream. Was it Wrestle Dream? No, must have been All Out then in Chicago.
But I tuned in. I don't know, 10 minutes late as it started, and it was black for 30, 40 minutes until they had it back up. So
Thing sucks. So
tune in, boys.
Those are fun, bold predictions. We'll have to see how those age throughout 2024. But all right, so last segment, probably not well. Last segment of the show. Let's try to predict who the AEW champions across the board will be at this time next year in 2024. We'll start off with the big.
Mine's not done. I still have not put an AEW World Champion men's down yet. I've scribbled it out 4 times.
So we'll make that one last then, Shep. We'll give you time.
Look at my paper. There's just scribbles right up the top here.
I'll give you time to think about it. Let's start with the women's champion, shall we?
Okay.
Sure. Let's do it.
Who's going first?
I'll go first.
All right.
Thunder Rosa.
I like it.
All right. I went Jamie Hayter.
I went Jamie Hayter as well.
Ooh.
But essentially, we all went with a woman who would be a 2-time champ.
So, if Thunder it took her, what? Was she off a full year?
I think a year and a half. I think it was like 18 months.
Maybe it was 18 months.
I know she had some back issues.
Yeah, she was almost done for her career.
So hopefully she's got those connected. Corrected, not connected.
Well, let's hope everything's connected too.
That's true. But yeah, I just feel, she had some really big momentum when she was the champion. Got hurt. Just like her, she's charismatic. She's got the look, and she can work, and she can work stiff. She did MMA there for a while too, I think. So she's not scared. So that's my pick.
Yep, and kind of same way with me with Hayter. I mean, she got hurt, didn't really. She kind of had to relinquish the title or lose in a fashion they wouldn't have her lose. And they need her. She's one of the horses in their division. She had a big 2023. They need her back.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's keep it in the women's division. TBS.
Sky Blue.
Good one.
I almost went Sky Blue, but I figured that would be the cop-out answer that I would get picked on for. So I went somebody else. Anna Jay.
You try to get golden Anna Jay quite often. I like it.
I have. I've tried. She's a good worker.
She's got a lot better over the years.
Yes. And I think if they give her something singles, don't put her in a faction, don't put her with, Ty Mello or anything like that. Just let her go on her own, develop kind of that character she had developed when she first showed up. I think she'll be fine.
I had Sky Blue written down the other day and crossed her out. I went with Thunder Rosa. So I want to see them elevate both titles a little bit, give the TBS Jade was a pretty big name. And Statlander's a good name too. And Julia Hart's doing fine, but I want to see a little more established name get it. sometime in 2024. Let's go with the international title. A title that, as of right now, is not going to be defended on Saturday's pay-per-view.
I went with Miro for this one.
Okay. Like it.
He didn't come into play when I was thinking about this because I don't know.
Shep, last year you had Action and Ready for this one.
That was the dumbest pick I made. I mean, I've done a lot of dumb shit in my life. That was right up there with it. I don't know what the hell
he
I was
crushed a
thinking.
water bottle tonight. That was weird.
Yeah.
That was really weird.
What was that all about?
A TikTok challenge where you just chug the whole bottle as you're forcing the water down your throat and you're not supposed to choke.
You guys know how I feel about the best friends and that. I'm bored with it.
Anyways, I have down Takeshita.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Good one.
Wish I would have thought that. I have a guy who actually is holding gold right now, but he's holding ROH gold. I have Kyle Fletcher.
I almost went Fletcher.
Yeah. Last year, I think I went Ethan Page, which I almost went with him again this year because I like Ethan Page. I wish they would put some gold on him. But
honestly, though, there was a part of me, I don't see OC dropping this thing anytime soon.
He hasn't defended it in a while.
I think he's a little banged up.
Yeah, I think he has too.
He's a little banged up.
Didn't he take on Rocky?
Oh, he did. You're
Rampage?
right. I didn't want to.
Yeah, last week he did. It was odd. It was odd. But OC is odd.
Yes, he is. How about the Triple Crown, which will be a new championship come Saturday? So it'll be the whatever new gold they debut plus the New Japan Strong Open Weight title and the ROH Heavyweight Championship all together.
I picked somebody that's not even in ROH or AEW.
Who was that?
David Finlay.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Well, originally, and then my brain started working going, oh, wait, he won't be here at this time next year, which was Bryan Danielson was my original pick for this. But knowing that that's probably not going to happen unless he decides to just stick around a little bit longer, I went with Jay White.
God damn it, Paul. Did you read my notes? I went with Jay White as well.
Now, so the New Japan Strong title is kind of a title that is mid-card, okay?
Right.
So you're taking a mid-card title, you're taking a world championship in ROH, which I guess you can say ROH is mid-card right now, and you're combining these two into another championship. So you're advertising it as a Triple Crown, which should elevate everything.
Right.
So I think you have to look at all three companies are going to be – this thing's going to be defended a shit ton of times and everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, for some reason I read that statement today. He was on my list. I read that statement by him today, and I'm like, all right, that's it. That's what it is right there.
Yeah.
He's going – I can see him starting to work in other ways, coming back to the States and working New Japan Strong, maybe showing up on AEW and some ROH stuff. Because he made a comment. He's like, I'm going to make this shit famous. So that just swayed me. I literally crossed out the four other names and circled him. It
was one of the tough ones to predict. I thought.
It was.
Because we don't really know anything about it because it's a new title. So here's a tough one. How about the trios?
All right. I'll go first on this one because I know I'm going to catch so much shit from you two. I am ready for it. I am losing the Wise Man title right here. 2.0 and Daniel Garcia.
They actually crossed my mind, believe it or not, but because Daddy Magic and Daniel Garcia are doing some entertaining stuff. Now, Angelo Parker and Ruby Soho, I don't know about that, but
that's odd. No, I don't dislike that one.
No, I don't hate it.
I don't dislike that one. You might dislike mine but it kind of affirms one of your predictions. Is I'm going with the Dark Order. I mean the Dark Order.
All right, yeah.
I am going with LFI.
Okay.
Roosh, Preston Vance, and Drilistico.
All right.
All right. How about the tag team titles?
Shep, go ahead.
FTR.
That was a given.
That was a given. I mean, at some point in time, I know these guys have 2 years left on their contract.
Mm.
They're going to make one more run. I see them making one more run where they hold multiple promotions belts again.
I like that. I hope they do.
I went very close to that with the team that FTR is currently in a feud with. I went House of Black.
All right. That was my trios last year, which they had trios for a little bit. And I went very bold with this one. I went Christian Cage and Adam Copeland.
Oh.
Man, I can
somehow
see
we
that.
get there. I don't know how. I don't know if Christian turns baby or Adam turns heel, but we get there somehow, and they have one more run together.
Okay, if you would have gave me a fourth bold prediction, was the Hardys versus them in a TLC match.
And let's throw the Dudleys in there too and put in Houston.
I don't
know if that can happen. So I don't know how Devon can go, but
I don't think that'll happen. But
yeah, I'm all the nostalgia, the little kid in me wants Hardys against Copeland and Christian
now,
one more time.
They couldn't do the shit they did back.
No, but it'd still be entertaining as hell.
Has it been 20 years?
The first one was 2000, so it's been 23 years.
Yeah.
So, the spear, I'll never forget the spear.
Oh my god!
Oh my lord!
Jeff's hanging there, and
was it Edge or Christian that speared?
It was Edge, and the way he sold it when he hit and came up and looked dazed, and then awesome.
Yeah. And the camera angle was perfect. It was up top camera angle.
But I think we're definitely going to get a run out of them at one more time before Copeland's done. I'm hoping it's next year. So
yeah.
All right, 2 more titles here. TNT title.
Oh, okay. You said 2 more titles, so we're leaving out FTW?
I did not do an FTW one, to be honest.
Okay. Well,
since they don't recognize it as a title.
We'll go TNT, but I'll throw in, I just said Hook was going to hold it all year.
Oh, okay. So. I did not do an FTW. Did you do an FTW show? Because I did not.
What a great sound.
What a sound.
I did not do an FTW belt, but I'll make a quick prediction. I'm going to go with Tommy Dreamer.
Al Snow.
There we go. All right. One of us will be close.
I did do a TNT one though.
Yes.
That's the one we'll do next.
Yeah. This one I think I'll catch some shit for, and you guys will both roll your eyes at me. I'm going with Nick Wayne.
I had him down, Shep, and crossed him out for the guy I had, so I was right there.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with Nick Wayne holding this title.
He's up and comer. Story-wise, it makes a lot of sense. I kind of wish I would have stuck with it.
I, on the other hand, stuck with some gold, some Bullet Club gold, and went Juice Robinson.
Ooh.
I think that dude is thoroughly entertaining.
Yeah.
When before he got hurt, I think we were talking about him every week, like just the way he acts around the ring, the way, even if he's not in a match, the way he's interacting with the crowd, the way he talks.
Even the Guns entrance when he's up there, like doing this, it's just funny.
Yeah. Thoroughly charismatic, entertaining.
There were 2 titles I didn't have to think of my champions for, and Juice was one of them.
Juice is loose. I like it.
Oh, I like that one.
I like your guys' TNT predictions better than mine. This guy might be quote unquote above the TNT title, but I like, if Copeland's going to win Saturday, I like keeping it on a big name for some reason this year. This guy hasn't won. No. He has feuded with Nana, Hangman Adam Page. Hasn't had gold in a while. I just feel like I don't know. I don't know,
man.
I don't know either.
He throws me off a lot
He
of
does.
stuff.
He's a main eventer, but yet then he disappears. It's like just when he's then he drops off.
He had a great feud with Swerve.
Yeah.
Or having a great feud with Swerve.
Yeah.
And then we haven't seen him.
No, he gets thrown through the car windshield and nothing.
Yeah.
He won that charity battle royal before that.
So let me throw this out there. What's a nickname he calls himself?
The Millennial Cowboy?
Yep. What are millennials known for?
Being lazy.
Not showing up to work. Sorry, I know, Tanner, you're a little younger than me. I'm on the cusp of the millennial thing. So
I'm a millennial.
I know. I'm not.
I'd rather be a millennial than Gen Z. So
no. we're fucked on Gen Z, boys. That's a whole nother podcast that needs 47 explicit things. I'm not drinking Bud Light. It's Miller Lite. Okay, so
I didn't even have a light.
Let's if we're gonna have that podcast, I'm gonna invite John Daly, Kid Rock, and Tucker Carlson to join us. I know this is a professional wrestling podcast, has nothing to do with politics, but if you want a good, entertaining hour, go watch that interview on YouTube. First of all, John Daly's a freaking idol of mine, right? Like, I'm a huge golf fan. I mean, John Daly is it. Kid Rock's pretty badass too. And the stories they tell about how like Kid Rock got pissed off that Daly was hammered drunk in his house the night before Kid Rock had to go perform. And like Kid Rock, like, dude, I don't party the night before I go perform my show. And Daly's like 3 bottles of vodka deep with his caddy. Like, and Kid's like, I kicked his ass out of my house. I mean, he's a major winner. I kicked his ass out of my house. I have to perform. And Daly's like, he got over it. So, anyways, there's my rabbit hole. There's my really big rabbit hole for the night. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm probably off with the Hangman prediction, but I was just like, I had Nick Wayne. And I'm like, I'm going to go big with this one. See if Hayner gets
fit. That's the bad part. It could fit.
I don't know. All right, so we gave Shep enough time, I think. I got
one. I'm gonna go last, but I got one.
All
right. I'll go first then. For the AEW World Championship, I think 2024 will end with this belt over the shoulder or around the waist of Will Ospreay.
Paul just stole my notes tonight. This is bullshit. It's 3 of them, and Shep did too. So we all have Ospreay. Because that's why I said he's going to main event All In, because I do think, and I'll make part of this part of my prediction, I do think Swerve holds it at some point in 24.
Yeah,
Ospreay takes it.
Hey, go ahead and pick my other one, guy, Tanner. I don't care.
But Ospreay ends the year. Yeah. Damn it, Paul. We agreed on 3 champions, Paul, so we're going down together.
I was going
Not
back.
The first time that's happened.
I was going back and forth with Swerve and Ospreay.
Yeah, I was too. Actually.
And I went with Ospreay.
Yeah.
See, this was my other one that I didn't even have to hesitate on.
Good.
I looked at that and I went, Ospreay's holding it.
Yeah. Here's, and I know they say wrestling contracts aren't negotiated around title reigns. This supposedly has to be earned. But I feel for Tony Khan to get him away from New Japan and the schedule New Japan allowed Ospreay to have, where he could still live in England. I feel that there has to be a cherry on top, some sprinkles, And it's one of those things where he basically said, okay, you come over here, you do what you do. We'll make this happen towards the end of the year. So, and there's this kind of a big show in his backyard. So it makes sense. It really does. Now, on the flip side of that, I think Swerve has worked his ass off.
Yes.
He's a heel, but he still has the crowd behind him. Who else did that? MJF.
Yeah.
Okay. He was almost forced to go babyface because the damn crowd liked his heel character so much. He was almost forced to do it, or was forced to do it. Swerve is not to that point yet, but he's getting there.
Yeah.
And then obviously his in-ring work speaks for itself. So
Yep.
One of those two guys.
Yep.
I agree with Tanner, though. I think we get to London and we see Swerve Ospreay for the title.
Main event, that'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there a video that popped up from an old Rev Pro show where Swerve and Ospreay were doing a dance off?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Ospreay lost the dance off.
Yes. But I'm excited about Ospreay coming in March because there's so many fun matchups. And he's going to still be able to do New Japan stuff and some other promotions too. But 2024 is going to be fun, boys.
The best part is that when he shows up, I think I see this happening. I see him winning at Wrestle Kingdom. So him showing up in AEW with gold all around his waist would be give him a little momentum as well.
Maybe Moxley's his first feud in AEW then.
He comes out to introduce himself again, totes the belt, and then Moxley comes from the crowd. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll have one more prediction here. Not really. I don't think that. Well, it could be. I don't know when the guy's contract's up. I tried to look for it. Fightful didn't have anything on their website, and that's the website I go to for contract information. This wouldn't shock any of us, though. If assuming his contract's up in 2024, I do think a talent we could see leave AEW for to the WWE is Ricky Starks.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It is in 2024.
Is it?
I think that's why he currently has the tag titles around his waist. Is, you know what, we'll give you one more shot at gold before you leave.
He's in too tight with Cody.
He's in too tight with Cody. Yeah,
it just makes sense. They could use him. He's got the charisma they like.
Oh yeah.
The only thing, and maybe Paul's getting away from this. The only things is Ricky's size.
True.
Okay. He would match up against a Sami Zayn, but not a Roman Reigns. I think he's a little smaller than even the Usos. I think he's smaller than Cody.
Yeah, I think he is too.
I think Cody's on the threshold right there of the size they like to push. So I would say he'd be fit right into like the Intercontinental Championship side of it, but Gunther's just a beast. So I think Miz has nightmares of the chops.
I will say that was the best in-ring performance I've ever seen Miz put on.
Miz can go. I see them giving him one more run here. He's towards the end.
It.
Yeah, he's been a loyal guy. Done what he took the fall, for Snoop Dogg and McAfee, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm. When Shane O'Mac tore his quad.
Yeah, when he pulled a Vinny and tore his quads on the way to the ring. But no. Miz is a company man, can still go. So I see. Yeah. Hopefully they give him his due. Hopefully they do.
It'll be a fun 2024. 2023 has been fun. It's been a fun year for AEW, even though it's had its ups and downs. It's been a fun year for the Kicking Out podcast. That's for damn sure. And looking forward to even more enjoyable 2024 with you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Looking forward to the day change. We'll have a whole week's worth of stuff to talk about every Sunday.
Yes, we will. So, Paul, for the last time 2023, wrap us up there, big guy.
All right. Be sure to follow the Kicking Out podcast on all social media at Kicking Out Pod. Be sure to listen to the Kicking Out podcast wherever it is you listen to your podcast. And if that happens to be Apple Podcasts, leave us that 5-star review because we are 5-star KOP. Be sure to check out kickingOutShop.com. Don't forget promo code FREE23 going on through next Monday. Get you free shipping on anything in the store. Be sure to follow your Kicking Out Predictions champion at Tannerly at Tannerly92. Follow Austin Shepard at the Shep27. And be sure to follow myself at Paul Zartman921. And with that, for Austin Shepard and Tanner Lee, join us on January 7th. That's a Sunday at 8:30 p.m. for another Kicking Out podcast.